Okay, hello everyone. This is hour number 7, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, we're almost done. I mean,
How are you holding up, Jetty?
I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm surprised. I mean, this has been quite the podcast. But
you got a break when we talked about Zelda, right? We had the Zelda hour, and you had nothing to say, so you got
I heard
lunch.
that in the other room, though. It was amazing.
And then Nathaniel was kind of taking over that hour.
The British people took over the last hour.
Yeah.
I didn't like that hour.
British invasion.
That was a bad hour.
I forgot that British people have a much more, whatever you call it, sense of humor. Raunchy sense of humor than Americans. That's the word I was going for.
But yes, we are here on the GameCola 10-hour podtacular. Here today,
Dun, da, da, da.
right? Here with me are Michael Ridgaway, Michael Gray, Paul Franzen, and Lizo. So
Right.
everyone introduce yourselves.
I'm Mike Ridgaway. I used to do the Quantum Geek columns, and now I pretty much just write about things that make me angry.
So you write basically every single day.
I see what you did there, Michael Gray.
Yeah, I'm Michael Gray. I said I was going to be playing a video game while doing the podcast, but the game messed up, so I had to quit.
Oh, ouch.
I can take up the slack there. I'm totally playing a video game right now.
Good,
Should I be playing a video game?
One of the items magically disappeared from my inventory. I don't know how that happened.
I'm just grinding in Blue Dragon. I basically just have this barrier on that lets enemies run into me and die, and then I get more powerful.
I'm Paul Franzen. I'm GameCola's editor-in-chief.
I'm Lizo. I used to write testgame.exe, Making the Adventure, and now I basically do behind-the-scenes editing stuff for GameCola and provide moral support to Mr. Paul Franzen.
Yeah, last time we did a live podcast, she brought me cookies.
I baked a pie today, so that's for the end. Although I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that because nobody else gets to have any except for
No,
Paul.
I want podcast pie. Podcast pie?
You were all encouraged to obtain your own pie.
Piecast.
But it wouldn't be podcast pie. It'd be just some pie we went out and bought. What's the fun in
there's
that?
nothing stopping you from baking a pie right now on the air.
Well, what kind of pie?
Doing the podcast is stopping me from baking a pie, Paul. I can't.
Take the computer with you into the kitchen.
Podcast.
You can do it.
I don't have any
cookies one time while she was recording.
Paul, this is not going to work. 3 minutes into the podcast, and Paul has already upset everybody.
I'm just kind of on edge about the comments people were saying about adventure games in the last hour.
It's true. Well, okay, what kind of pie is it?
It is a strawberry pie.
Whoa.
You guys actually probably shouldn't get too excited because it might possibly give us food poisoning. So it was in our the strawberries I used were in our freezer for a while, and then the power went out, and they sat in there for a couple days, and then
Almost
the
a
power
week.
went back on. Yeah, so it may or may not be a deadly pie, but we're gonna eat it anyway. I
Poison
think.
pie.
Yeah.
Poison.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice.
Might actually hear Paul and his wife die on our podcast.
Best podcast ever. Wait, no.
That's
Wait, that came out wrong.
No, it didn't.
I think it'll probably be okay.
Are you sure?
No, but
Okay.
I think it'll probably be
The
okay.
pie or the podcast?
The podcast is great, except for that last hour.
Was it like an episode of Pushing Daisies, and except instead of the part where he touches all the fruit and makes it come back to life, it's just still moldy, and then you bake a pie with it?
There was no visible mold, so that at least I know is true. Anyway, you'll find out later whether or not it was poison.
Yeah, if you don't hear from me either in the podcast or the chat room for a particularly long time, I'm dead.
Or just not paying attention.
Or just not paying. That also happens.
So,
podcast.
Yeah, number 7. Hour number 7.
Yeah.
Out of 10.
50-7.
Weren't we supposed to...
I don't think we haven't even mentioned that, Jetty. This is podcast number 50.
That's true. It is podcast 50.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
That's crazy, right?
That's quite a milestone, right?
Well, actually, I wanted to mention, now that I have Paul here, not that he was here at any other time during the podcast, but Paul, speaking of, 10 years, podcast number 50, we got all these big things going on. Do you remember a certain recent email that you got, as I brought up earlier?
Oh,
a tender,
do you have that handy?
Tender and poignant topic to discuss. I do have my email open, but I have
for
to...
several of the people in the podcast right now.
Hold on.
Is this about unicorns?
No.
I hope so.
Unicorns. No, this is far more tender and poignant than that.
See, that was the
Obviously,
question
you've
of
never
whether
watched-
unicorns can have wings. Yeah.
That's an alicorn.
Well, they can.
If it's a unicorn with wings, an alicorn.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, but I mean, why is it
But,
that
I mean,
only
that's the type of
royalty?
unicorn.
It seems that only the princess gets to be an alicorn, because we've never
Actually-
seen any male alicorns.
There is another. I mean, there is another alicorn. Well, there's Celestia. Are we talking about My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic?
Yeah,
right?
Celestia, Luna,
Okay.
and just the other day we saw Princess Cadence, and she was an
Yeah.
alicorn.
Paul, do you
I mean, I don't know.
remember quite
What's up, Jetty?
vaguely
Maybe
when you would have forwarded that to me?
I can find it. Give me a second.
Yeah, 'cause
maybe the potential for becoming an alicorn is carried on the purely on the X chromosome, so that if you have a maybe the carriers for both being a Pegasus, maybe the carrier for Pegasi or unicorns are carried on the X chromosome, so that in order to be a Pegasus and a unicorn, you have to be a female with 2 X chromosomes.
Well, to be fair, we haven't seen any male princes, have we?
I'm just saying. Well, there
Yeah.
was Prince.
I found the letter, Jetty.
Did you? Okay.
I
Yeah,
did.
Prince Blueblood, you're right.
Okay,
Or
everyone
what's-
stop arguing about stuff that no one cares about.
This is very important. We're talking about the prince who was rude to Rarity.
Yeah,
So she's like the best thing that ever happened to him.
pony business is serious business, Jetty.
Does anyone remember our Drama Queens podcast?
Oh yes, quite well.
Yes.
Anyone in the chat room? Did you guys listen to that one or watch it or whatever?
There's a chat room going.
There is.
There is a chat room.
Yeah, there's people talking.
Yeah,
Are there people actually
Oh,
in it?
there are.
People.
There
saw?
are we
Diana,
have 13 viewers right now.
That's amazing.
Live
13 viewers of the chat room or the podcast?
of the chat room. There might be one in the same. I'm not sure.
The chat cast.
It's difficult to tell. But
Anyway.
Someone listened to it.
okay,
We seem to have a lot of people in the chat room that listen to it, which is good. I want to read to you guys this comment we got on our YouTube channel. You might have seen it if you've been browsing our YouTube channel. If not, here it is. This is from a YouTube user named Pixelated Pope. Hey, I just wanted to pass along how awesome I think your Drama Queens podcasts are. I was the lead designer on Drama Queens. Technically co-lead designer, but that was just bureaucratic BS. Anyway, I can't believe I didn't know these podcasts existed until just now. I'm passing these links to about everyone I'm still in contact with who helped develop the game. Anyway, thank you for playing it. I'm glad somebody played it the way you guys played it, even though it was clearly marketed at young girls. We never really designed it for them. This game was intended to be played precisely how you guys played it, and that just makes me happy that at least someone experienced that way.
Yeah. It wasn't as much as I knock on it for being drama girls, drama queens. It wasn't terrible. I've played far worse games, so. Oh god, I hope I didn't just insult that guy, but
it was certainly better than the sleepover game.
yes, it was much. Drama Queens was the one in the mall, right?
Yes.
The sleepover game was like the pure
That was the Wii one where we were catching fireflies and riding on bicycles and stuff.
Yeah, Drama Queens wasn't terrible. So go.
I mean, there was a certain kind of fun Mario Party aspect to it, I guess.
There was.
Except in the place of mini games, there was amusing text about people peeing themselves. No, we're not talking about water bottles.
The whole stealing a boyfriend's mechanic was messed up. Like you could, the one girl could help you steal her boyfriend. It's just like, this is okay. All right, that's odd, but I mean, no, it wasn't terrible. I've been reading about teams that end up having to develop those types of games, and they actually seemed like they put a decent amount of work into it. So
Yeah.
I have been. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was thinking that would make a good episode of My Little Pony, is all of them fighting over a Valentine's Day episode where a really hunky stallion comes into town and some of them try to fight over him.
you mean a Hearts and Hooves Day episode?
Yeah, I didn't really see that one.
That's really
I get it confused with the other one. I've seen Sister Hooves Social, and the two names are so close that I think...
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I saw that episode already, and I'm pretty sure it's like, now looking back, it's like, it's probably a different episode.
Hearts and Hooves Day is a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
The Cutie Mark Crusaders give Cheerilee and Big Mac a love potion that turns out to be a love poison.
Wow.
Yeah.
thanks.
Yep.
But no, I thought this comment was particularly cool because I mean,
Yeah.
the developer of the game saw our podcast.
Not the lead dude who made this game.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and not only that, but like you would think even if the lead person did see this, like we're kind of mocking the game. Like we in our minds, this isn't exactly how the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah.
But then
Well, I remember when we played it. I was thinking, I'm having so much fun with this game, but I don't know if I'm having fun for the right reason. Like, am I enjoying it because it's a good game, or am I enjoying it at the expense of the person who made this game?
yeah, and then to have them come in and basically confirm that we were doing it right.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, you know, I mean, they're grown adults and they know what they're doing, and I mean, you know, probably maybe it's part therapy for them to hear like people like them actually enjoying it.
Yeah. So that was a really cool moment in GameCola history.
Yeah. What company
Pony.
was that actually? By the way.
I can look it up, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah, so back to ponies. Unicorns can't fly.
No, they can teleport, but it might just be Twilight Sparkle, who is a very magical unicorn.
But weren't you just saying that there was a variety of unicorn that can fly?
Well,
The alicorn, but those are only royalty.
they have wings. They can fly because they have wings. It's not like magic flight. Well, I guess in a way it is magic flight, but still.
Drama Queens was developed by a company called Sensory Sweep and published by Majesco.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to be honest, talking about the three types of ponies. They have the unicorns, they can fly. No, the unicorns can use magic, and the Pegasi can fly, and the earth ponies can basically just do nothing.
Well, I mean, if you wanna get technical about it, which I do, obviously, Pinkie Pie can break physics, and Applejack is the strongest. But well, Big Mac is the strongest pony, but I guess earth ponies are physically stronger.
I'm not sure if Pinkie Pie breaks physics on purpose, or even if she's aware of it.
So Lizzo, as the only girl actually on this podcast, what if any experience have you had with My Little Ponies?
I had like 3 or 4 of the little doll things when I was little, but it was something that someone had given to me as like hand-me-down because they'd grown too old for them, and so I never really I don't actually know anything about My Little Ponies, so that's
good. That's why I love you.
Well, to be fair, this is the new generation, so this only started in, 2011, or was it 10?
I want to say 10.
Because they were inspired by the reboot of the Transformers franchise, which made them lots of money, so they're like, we need to do that with the other things we own, and one of them was...
Whoa. So that means there's a possibility that Shia LaBeouf will show up in My Little Pony.
Oh God, I hope.
No, there is
They
none
were that
whatsoever.
inspired. Huh. I mean, that would be enough to get me into it, I think.
Paul, you are history's greatest monster.
He made Indiana Jones watchable, after all.
Paul, I will reach through the internet and strangle you.
Now, see, if I was a celebrity, I would totally volunteer to do My Little Pony for free.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest, it's one of the reasons I want to become a celebrity, not because you get to be rich and famous, but because you can volunteer to be on certain animated shows, and you basically get it.
I don't know if he volunteered, but do any of you guys watch Adventure Time?
I've only seen a little bit of it.
Well, they did it's about the
animation that I don't really care for.
And that's fair. I mean, it can be, you know, I've heard that from people. But there was an episode where instead of Finn and Jake, it was the adventures of Fiona and Cake, and basically they did a gender swap for everyone in the show. And normally they have Princess Bubblegum. This time they had Prince Gumball, and he was voiced by Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes, I have seen this episode.
And he did a whole song, so.
Yes.
Nice.
Your fist has pierced my heart.
But I mean, stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, well, the closest My Little Pony has gotten was Tori Spelling yesterday with the Canterlot Wedding special.
Was she Princess Cadence?
No, she hosted it.
Oh.
So basically, when they showed the episode, they had like a little mini thing before and after every commercial break.
I see.
Oh, like in the old Mario Brothers show.
Yeah, so it'd be her, and you know she's talking with Twilight Sparkle for like half a minute. She's like, "Oh well, the episode seems to be going so well, Twilight. You don't seem to like the princess very much, though."
Oh, she was evil.
Well,
yeah, no one really knows who the voice of the Princess Cadence sounded familiar, but
the voice of the prince sounded familiar to me, but that's probably, I don't know. Is it a Canadian show?
Yeah.
I would just like to make a quick shout out to RizzyMan33's little sister. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, cause
Sorry,
he
continue
sounded
with your pony
like
talk,
he
please.
sounded like one of the Canadian actors in whatever you call it, the Total Drama series, which is a Canadian series.
Okay, the guy is Andrew Francis.
What else has he been in?
Let me IMDb him.
Yeah, this is what happened. This is what has happened every single time we've done a talk through for what's that show? Back to the Future, the game. We just look up on IMDb.
Yeah, I believe there was a long
let's
stretch of
see.
time where I was just completely not watching the game and just looking up stuff about other different games.
The guy was on Supernatural, Iron Man, Armored Adventures, Voltron Force. He was in an episode of Psych, Bond of Silence, Seven Deadly Sins, Hero 108, Frankie and Alice. He's got a lot of bit parts.
Johnny Test. That's also a TV show. I mean, that's also a Canadian TV show.
Is it?
Johnny Test, yeah, and he was in Barbie Fairytopia. Well, that fits in perfectly with My Little Pony, I guess.
Yeah, various translations of Death Note.
Dragon Ball Z Canadian version. Huh, he played Dende in the Canadian Dragon Ball Z. Very nice.
The Canadian version of Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know, it says Canadian version all over this thing.
Weird.
That's weird. Yeah, sure. A lot of translated stuff, or dub stuff.
So who here plays video games?
I was
I
gonna
do.
say.
Okay,
What's
well,
going
since you mentioned adventure games, I have
Yes.
a question for you, Paul.
Oh, are you about to make fun of adventure games too?
No, I'm just kind of. I want to get your opinion on something. I've
Okay.
heard that Telltale is developing a Walking Dead adventure game.
Yes, that is true.
How do you
This
think
is
that's
true.
going to go? Because honestly, I'm not. Especially after I didn't care for. I read the comics. I'm up to date on those.
It's starring
Watch-
like a new character, I think.
Yeah,
is
it's
what
not
they said.
following the plot.
Somebody
It has
from-
nothing to do with the TV show, is my understanding too.
Well, that's good
I don't-
because I've heard the second season was kind of botched, or just not very good.
I
They
believe it's
hinted
based
at the-
purely on the.
I was saying they
Go
hinted
ahead.
that the main character is going to make some sort of appearance, but not as the
Okay.
main character of the game. That's all.
Okay, I was curious.
Yeah.
Because
I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I do think that at times Telltale's greatest strength is not in developing its own stories and its own characters. So I would, and I think one of their bigger strengths is in their humor, despite what was being said in the previous hour. So I would be hesitant to play a full-on serious game by them, where they're coming up with the story pretty much by themselves.
yeah,
but-
I agree with you on that.
I mean, Back to the Future was great, though. I mean, that was a game where they did come up with their own storyline and a couple of their own characters, and that worked out pretty well. So maybe I think I'm still kind of tainted by the new characters that they made for Tales of Monkey Island, which I thought were almost all awful, with like one or two exceptions.
I like the French guy. Then again,
I hated the French guy.
How can you not like making fun of French people?
It was just
That's so un-American.
it was very uncreative, I thought. Plus, they had this awful nerd stereotype, which I think is what kind of ruined their new characters entirely for me. They had the guy with the taped up glasses, and he probably had a pocket protector, and I was like, come on, guys, you're better than this. Come on.
That's your entire audience, guys. Don't make fun of them.
But yeah, I also I don't have a lot of experience with the Walking Dead source material. I haven't read the comics. I only watched a couple episodes of the show, so I don't know if that would make me a better or worse candidate for playing the game, to be honest.
Yeah, that's hard to say. I mean, I might be able to enjoy the show more if I didn't read the comics as much.
Right.
And I have friends on both sides of that issue where, like my brother, for instance, says, he's glad they're doing different stuff, because really, why would he just watch them trek through the comics again? He's read the comics. On the other side, I have friends who say, the stuff they're doing in the show, while new, is stupid. And that, they're you got characters that, that you really could develop, but he's like, nope, they're gonna go act stupid, and die. So, I don't know, based on what I've heard from season 2, I'm not in any hurry to watch it, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm way more excited for a game that Telltale's working on. They have not mentioned anything about this game since they announced it, and that would be the new King's Quest game they're theoretically working on. Dying to hear more about that, but I guess they're a lot more focused on The Walking Dead at the moment.
No, E3, I think we're going to hear it at E3.
You think so? That would be
When
awesome.
we go and visit E3, I'll make sure to ask them about that.
You haven't happened to hear back from them during the course of this podcast, have you?
Not yet. But I mean, it's because it's the weekend, so they probably aren't going to get back to me. That's the only reason, the only possible reason. We've sent in our application, everybody, so we're just waiting to hear back from
Really?
them.
Did you?
Yeah.
Third year running, Mike.
Third year running, yeah.
Well, now that we have actually 13 people chatting in our chat room, we might have a voice. I hope the people in the chat room do not think I'm making fun of them. God love you. I don't
some of
I
these
never
people
actually
have been
thought
in
people
here
would
for the
listen
full
to us.
7 hours or whatever we've been
Holy
doing this.
crap.
Yeah.
We're freaking
Someone
celebrities.
early in the chat room said that in whatever time zone she was in, it was like 6 a.m. and she woke up just to listen to us talk.
Oh,
I wanted to do that, but I was sleepy.
yeah, Paul, I wouldn't wake up at 6 a.m. for you.
That's okay.
No, okay, Michael Ridgaway, you'll appreciate this. In order to get into E3, you have to prove that you're a writer for the website, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent in, it has to be 3 articles you've written within the past, 3 months. So the first one is the one on the My Little Pony Ace Attorney crossover game.
Nice.
Yes.
Where Twilight Sparkle takes the role of Miles Edgeworth.
That's how we roll.
So,
at least that's a good game.
So if they reject us, I have no idea why they would reject us now.
Now, I have a question. Have you actually gotten rejection letters in the past, or they just not get back to you?
It's rejection letters.
Oh.
They're actually letters.
Well, that's decent of them.
Yeah. At least we're not left hanging.
Yeah.
Do you think this is our year, Michael?
This is our year. We've been growing in
It might not be our year
readership.
to go to E3, but it's our year for something.
I mean, if we can at least just get a press pass to PAX or something, or MagFest. Actually, wait, MagFest, wait a minute. Why haven't we gotten one of those yet, Mike?
Because you haven't asked.
Oh, if we asked, would we get one?
Probably.
Huh.
I mean, we have to be a little judicious, but I can always put in a good word for you.
Oh, very interesting.
I think it was
So we'll
last
talk
year
about that.
we got rejected because we didn't have enough monthly visitors to their site or something like that.
We
For
should
MagFest?
theoretically be better now. No, E3.
Theoretically, yeah. To E3, it's like we didn't break their barrier of 3,000 unique visitors per month.
I'll make sure to go and refresh the page. Oh wait, unique visitors.
On a variety of
Unique
visitors,
visitors.
So what you're saying is we need to
Go to the library.
cobble together a very
When I'm at work.
diverse
Wait, Jetty, was it you who used to leave GameCola open on computers in the library?
That's right. You did.
Was that you?
Yeah. When I was at the college, I would leave GameCola open on computers after I would get done using them.
Nice.
It'd be pretty funny if we still had some readers from who learned about GameCola through that.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder, if that's a valid advertising method.
Better than what we usually do, which is
Nothing.
we post it on Facebook sometimes.
We post on Facebook, yay.
Actually,
So who go ahead.
I was going to say, another way that I used to advertise for my personal website was to post on the college bulletin board with my...
I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to make those flyers with the little tear out
Yes,
parts
that's
at the bottom
exactly
of them.
what I did.
Yep.
Yeah, and it would have...
I posted them all over the University of Maryland.
Yeah.
Did the tear off things just say GameCola.net?
Well, they said GameCola.net, video game humor.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Mine, I'm pretty sure.
And I would walk by them later, and people were taking them off. So
Yeah. For me, it was more like I would walk by and one had been taken, and then I would walk by and someone had removed my post. So.
yeah, you had to make sure to go for the high enough traffic area that people will actually see them, but low enough traffic that no one's going to staple their things directly on top of yours.
Yeah. So.
GameCola.net, we're poor.
Hey, we have $16.70 cents in the advertising fund right now.
Don't let E3 know. GameCola.net. We can easily fund your convention.
Yes. We make
Yeah,
lots
no,
of
I'd
money.
really love to make E3 this year.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be wonderful. Yeah.
I think, but I would probably have more fun asking a bunch of random questions which have nothing to do with anything. So,
Yeah.
like, for example, I would go to Telltale Games, and instead of asking about The Walking Dead, I'll ask them about what they feel about the shipping between Doc Brown and Edna.
I
Do they
hope you would
belong
bring
together?
Marianne as a camera person to film this too.
I don't have a camera person. I would force one of my relatives to do it, I guess.
Well, that would be entertaining. I think we're due. We've been doing this website for 10 friggin' years now. One of the qualifications on E3's website was that you have to have been a website for at least 6 months, and we've beaten that a bunch of times over.
Yeah.
Like, I think that should make up for, we're not having as many readers as other websites.
Yeah, we have at least twice that.
Quantity, not quality.
Exactly. Wait.
So Paul, you've just been playing Apollo Justice for the first time. How do you feel about that?
It's starting to turn me around.
How far are you in the game?
I'm in the third case. I'm at the near the end of the third case with the magician. Oh, I guess that doesn't help because there's a magician in a lot of them.
There's a lot of magicians.
The rock concert murder. I'm on that one.
I like that one better than the panty stealing. I don't quite
like the panty stealing one. I thought that was really funny.
That joke got old really, really quickly.
It got funnier and funnier every time they said it.
Should I not
It's
play
like
this
you're
game? Sounds a
No,
little weird.
it's actually very innocent. It's okay.
Yeah, it's
Say
just
so.
a 16-year-old girl talking about her panties and putting things inside them.
The game was made in Japan, all right?
Well, that makes it
Okay.
all right then.
Yeah.
They don't have the same sensibilities we do.
I don't know. The one I'm on right now has actually been kind of dragging. I haven't been playing it as much because I've been kind of bored by it.
It's
at
because
times.
they show the same video clip like 5 times.
Yes, and it's so long.
And in my video walkthrough, I kept like a running count of how many times they showed it. And I lost count, which shows you how often they show that clip.
But yeah, as much as I've railed against this game for ruining the Phoenix Wright character, I do still have some reservations about the fact that where are all of his friends and why did they let this happen and why have they not been here for the past 9 years or however long it is. But I do think it is interesting that you're seeing a much different side of Phoenix Wright. Like, he's so much more relaxed and casual and friendly. He's not like freaking out as much as he was in the other games. I do think that's kind of interesting.
You haven't gotten to any of the parts where they talk about, they're gonna later on get into why he lost his lawyer's badge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how you feel.
He has
Yeah,
a crippling
we'll see, but
addiction
I'm
to hockey.
enjoying it more than I expected. I'll put it that way. Which, I mean, I was not expecting to enjoy it, so.
Did you get to talk to the Phoenix Wright musical people about that?
I did not know. There was actually we were actually trying to get them on for the podcast today, but it didn't work out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I saw a section earlier that was supposed to be about that earlier. Was it just you guys talking about the Phoenix Wright musical? I see.
No, that was the part of the schedule we had blocked off for them. But it did not work out as one would have hoped. But that's okay. No hard feelings.
Happens.
We can still start a Phoenix Wright podcast of our own.
Yeah, really? You think?
Wait, we start one? Isn't that what the GameCola podcast is?
Yeah, I'm surprised that, this isn't just 10 hours of Phoenix Wright.
I think we've actually been doing a pretty good job not just talking about it.
Everybody's
I think
ponies are the new thing now. It's not Phoenix Wright anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it's because we've had different people on the podcast than we normally do, and because I think the podcast gives a false representation of how much GameCola staff loves Phoenix Wright. It's just that the people who do the podcast regularly love Phoenix Wright, so we've been seeing a lot of different people who are not quite as into it.
We've had a lot of first timers. I mean,
We have.
we had Sean Sackenheim and Brian Vanek.
Yeah.
People from GameCola's
Yeah.
history.
Zach Huffman as well.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel Castro, he came on.
Yeah. Kevin Leacock, he's never done the podcast before.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
been cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. And in a couple hours, we're going to have another name from GameCola's past. Rick L. will be showing up at the 6 to 7 p.m. hour. Wrote
Rick
a variety
L?
of reviews. Rick L. Previously known as Rick Crescent. I don't know if I was supposed to say that,
Thanks.
but he'll be there
So
with
Paul, have you been using my walkthrough for Apollo Justice to get through the game?
Do you have a written walkthrough on Game FAQs?
No.
Oh. I've been following a written one at time.
And no, it's a live video walkthrough where I make fun of Bo Phoenix.
I'm sorry, no, I have not.
Well, we're putting him to sleep.
No.
It's because we stopped talking about ponies for 10 minutes.
Well, there's that. No, I went to Hershey Park yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Vanjie and I have been a little tuckered out today.
That sounds fun.
Oh yeah, no, it was a good time.
It's delicious. Video games. People in the... What are people talking about in the live chat room?
They're just making emoticons at each other.
Yeah. How did Christian Porter do that POW one?
Ooh.
Did he just type POW?
I don't know. He has his ways.
Like, underscore, or like dash, then pow, then, I don't know. I'm not there.
People listening to the podcast, and give us a topic.
I had another topic on my post-it notes over here.
Okay, what is it?
All right. In honor of Mass Effect 3, and we're not going to go into spoilers with that because
no spoilers. I'm playing 2 right now.
Commander Shepard's made of chocolate.
Never played.
It's weird. In her version, Commander Shepard's actually a girl. I don't know what weird decisions she made to make that happen. But...
Is there like a sex change medbay upgrade in the second one or something?
But anyway, I was thinking in honor of Mass Effect 3 and the controversy over the game's ending recently, I was wondering if we could talk about some of the worst video game endings we've ever seen.
All right. I have an article coming out it's in the pipeline right now. I don't get what the big deal is with the Mass Effect 3 ending. I don't. It's not that bad. But
weren't there like 6 possible endings?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
And everyone's like, "Oh, my decisions don't matter anymore." Let me tell you about your decisions. They mean absolutely nothing in this universe because there is only one thing you were trying to do. Live. Did you beat the Reapers? You did? Congratulations. You made it. Nothing else matters except for the fact that you are alive right now. That is the big thing. I'm sorry.
No idea what he's talking about.
It'll be in the article, and I don't want to spoil things for Lizo.
It should be posted this week. Yeah.
How's it going?
Good.
What about you, Jetty? Worst ending?
Wait, what? Wait, I missed worst ending?
Worst video game ending, yeah.
Oh.
You have a video game ending, yes.
Worst video game ending. Any of the NES games that just ended and were like, game over. Like, you won, and it still just says game over. Or like, congratulations, the end.
Yeah, those were bad.
Yeah.
Like, you just... Wait, hold on. Was it Contra, where if you beat the game, it just said, hey, thanks for playing, now try hard mode. And then if you played it on hard mode and beat it, it still just said, hey, thanks for playing, now try it on hard mode. There were 2 or 3 games that were like that. And it's like, I just beat it on hard mode.
To be fair,
yes.
With Contra, I seriously doubt they thought I think they doubted anyone would actually be able to beat the game.
On hard mode. Yeah.
Just like, oh crap, just toss a game over screen in there. No one's gonna see it.
Yeah. I would say that the worst ending ever was Battletoads. I mean, you guys know about the ending of Battletoads, right? I mean, everyone's
actually. I can't get past the freaking speed tunnel.
That game, I do not believe, has an ending, Jetty.
I got past the speed tunnel, like, once, and there was some sort of, like, vertical level. You're going
is
down
that the one with, like, there's, like, saw blades going around? Or, no, I'm thinking maybe Super Battletoads. I don't know.
I can't remember.
I can't beat those games.
I just remember I got past the speed level, and I could never get past the next level after that, because, like, I had so few lives at that point. You know?
Yeah. No, there's no ending to Battletoads because you can't beat the Battletoads.
Yes.
But go ahead. Go ahead. What is this supposed ending to Battletoads like?
Oh, I don't. This is just making a joke. Because I knew no one else would know what the Battletoads ending was.
Matt Jonas was complaining about the Mickey Mouse Sega Genesis game having a bad ending because everything ended up being a play. So it's like, oh, the entire game wasn't real.
Well, I mean, in that theme, I mean, this isn't the ending to the game. This is probably about 2/3 way through the game. But in Star Ocean To the End of Time, they reveal that the entire Star Ocean series has been a video game. Because your characters are brought out of the video game. So anything
I already knew that.
Happened. Yeah, I know. Spoiler alert for anyone who wants to play the Star Ocean series, but no, don't play the Star Ocean series because it's It is it's like Inception if it was crap. Your characters are actually brought out of the video game, and someone's told you, it's like, you're from Star Ocean, and your characters are like, what's Star Ocean? It's a popular video game! And then you have to meet someone, I think, in the real world, so you can go back to your video game world.
Wow.
It's the stupidest thing ever. Oh, God. And it is like an ending to every other game in the series, because it's like, it was all a dream, except it was a video game.
Yikes.
Black.
Oh, Lord.
Have I talked about Toe Jam and Earl 3 on this podcast already? The ending to Toe Jam and Earl 3?
No?
Don't think so.
Jetty, you would know if I did.
Not today.
Okay, so Toe Jam and Earl 3 Mission to Earth for Xbox. Throughout the game, in between levels, you see these loading screens where it's a bunch of people dancing on stage having a good time. Those are also the ending. You beat the game, and then you see
The loading screen.
That is the
ending is or must be coming, is what you think.
Yeah, and then the credits play, and that's it.
Yikes.
I may be the only person who has ever beaten that game who was,
And then Toe Jam jumps out of the screen and kicks you in the crotch. That's the end.
It's like, what have you been doing with your time? Oh, it was no Toe Jam and Earl 1, I'll put it that way.
I haven't played any of them, so
You should play it first. Everyone should play it.
So.
Oh, it's on a Wii. You can download it.
Oh, okay.
It's the one that I think is Battletoads, isn't it?
Weren't you and I talking about doing a playthrough of Toe Jam and Earl a long time ago?
We were a long time ago, because it
When
was
we
an
were trying to
SNES game, yeah.
Sega Genesis.
It was? Okay, yeah, that's why I turned it down then.
Yeah,
Well, here, let me,
Oh.
I'm gonna, Vanjie just woke up. I'm gonna ask her, cause she is rather sensitive to video game plots. Dear, are there any video games that have just had a terrible ending in your thoughts? Alright, she's thinking about it. So, she hasn't played, she doesn't have the long history of, playing Nintendo games where it's just like, game over, sucker.
I'm just trying to imagine just like waking up and someone saying, hey, come over here, come podcast, come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, I wouldn't say it's a bad ending, but there's so much that was just sort of left open and not explained.
I actually didn't care for it the first time I saw it because, with Link showing back up at Zelda's or at the castle, it's just like, but I already did everything, and now it's just starting over again. Now that I'm older, I can appreciate the themes they're trying to go for, but then it's just like I've spent a week of my life on this game.
I'm still bogged down in the question is like, does that mean everybody completely forgets the entire adventure?
And the answer is no, because you have basically 2 Zelda timelines coming off of Ocarina of Time.
Yep.
I have a response.
But I mean, obviously, when you were playing Ocarina of Time for the first time,
you
that
don't
question
know.
wasn't answered. So I'm thinking about the first time I played it, and then when Majora's Mask came out, and it's sort of, kind of, maybe, but not really, answered the question about Navi. It didn't. It just, Navi takes off for no reason without saying anything, and I don't know why.
Because no one wanted to deal with her, that's why.
Yeah, but there's a flashback to a conversation that Link and Zelda had in Majora's Mask, so that tells you a little bit what happened between Zelda and Link, because she reteaches him Zelda's lullaby. No, she teaches him the Song of Time.
Yeah, she does.
She teaches it to him, and we have a flashback to that, so.
Okay, I have a game that has a bad ending.
All right.
The thing is that I never actually was able to beat this game, but I recently, in the last week, decided to watch the last video in a Let's Play of it.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is Final Fantasy Legend for the Game Boy. When I was like 8, I managed to get to the end of this game, not having any clue what I was doing through the entire game. I have no idea how I ever got that far. But the thing was, the inventory system was terrible, so what I did is I decided to sell the glass sword, which apparently is the most powerful weapon in the entire game.
Yes.
But me being 8, I was like, glass sword? What's that? It's probably going to break. It's a piece of junk. So
You don't make swords out of glass.
And so, 1 gold. Piece of junk. Of course I'm going to sell it.
You sold it for 1 gold.
I sold it for 1 gold. Now,
Sucker.
again, it was the most powerful weapon in the game. So then when I finally got to the end, I was never able to actually beat it. So, the plot of Final Fantasy Legend is that you are at the bottom of this tower, and supposedly up at the top of the tower is paradise, and everyone's trying to get there and blah blah blah. You make it through each of the levels with your little party, and finally you reach the end, and God is there, and he is a man in a top hat, just kind of sitting around in this like grassy area with a couple of trees, and
Chilling.
yeah, just kind of
doing God stuff.
hanging out. You go and you talk to him, and he's like, "Hey, you beat the game, great job." And your character's like, "What? This was a game?" And so then you get really upset that like everything that you've gone through was all just his little joke or whatever. So you decide to beat him up. And
Hell yeah!
so
Fun fact, same thing happens when you die in real life.
That's my plan.
but
No, God's gonna just come up, he's like, you were like my favorite character on that sitcom.
Like, what?
but okay,
It was a sitcom?
I will fight you.
here's the thing. I never got to see what happened afterwards because I was never able to beat the game. So what happens is you defeat God, you walk up, and there's like a door behind him that you couldn't see. So like you walk up to the door, and I guess this is supposed to imply that that was paradise that you were trying to get to. You walk up, your character's like, "Man, I still can't believe that we defeated God, and it was all just a game and blah blah. Well, what do we do now?" And then your characters turn around and they're like, "Let's go home," and it just ends there.
Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum.
Yeah, like
Whap.
they don't go through the door. There's no nothing happens. They just go home, and then it sort of like does the credits and shows you like quote exciting scenes from the game that you just played, and then it says "See you later."
So it doesn't even show you like a montage of going home or anything like that?
No, it just kind of shows you scenes from the game that you just played, and then it says
Oh.
"See you later."
Oh, I got one for you guys. Borderlands.
Uh-oh. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I know about
that's come
that.
up a few times today.
Yeah.
Not the ending, but
I mean, I love Borderlands, but the ending to the main game, it's like you're pursuing this vault the entire time, which is supposed to hold alien technology and be totally awesome, and you're racing everybody to find it. Well, turns out there was a monster in it, and a monster waiting at its door, and you have to kill the monster, but then the vault closes anyway, so you don't actually get a chance to see it in your lifetime. And it's just like, what? But my treasure! Treasure is the whole point of this damn game. I want my vault.
have you considered the possibility that you just got the bad ending?
No, that's the ending.
Okay.
I mean, they do make up for it a little bit because they have DLC that gives you a little bit more to do, and
More guns.
more guns. I will say the DLC for Borderlands is actually really good. Like they put a good amount of work into each of the scenarios, and they're all really fun. I got like Borderlands plus all the DLCs for like $7.50 on Steam last summer. Yeah. But yeah, just the ending of the main game of Borderlands, yeah, not great.
Okay.
I know we're running out of time,
Yeah.
but this is kind of reminding me a little of Fallout 3, Mike.
Is that the one?
I hate the ending of Fallout 3.
Is that the one where
I
like
hate it so much.
there are so many reasons why the ending could have been preventable?
Yes,
If like the robot guy
yes.
just did it or whatever?
Because you at the end, like, you have to go into this super radiated chamber in order to not blow up the capital wasteland, and I have the radiation will kill whoever you send in. So you can either send in this one person who's with you who will be like, "Gee, thanks a lot, Dick. Way to send me into the radiation chamber," or you can do it yourself and get like the noble sacrifice ending. Meanwhile, you could have a giant radiation immune super mutant with you, or a robot, or a ghoul that's immune to radiation. And like, if you talk to the mutant, you're like, "Hey, Fox." This is before they added DLC to fix the ending, or rather continue.
Yeah, I was gonna
the
say
game.
in my ending, I went in there and I woke up and I was fine.
And that's because you have Broken Steel, that the DLC that
Yep.
continues the main game. But before that, like, if you ask Fox, he's like, "Oh no, my friend, I wouldn't dream of stealing this honor from you." It's like, Fox, steal away, my buddy, because I will die. Like, are you afraid, like, your mutant fingers are too bad to hit, like, the little keypad in there? Like, I could give you, like, a little wand or something. Dialing wand.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that, like, if you bought the game and played it and beat it before Broken Steel came out, and before, purchasing Broken Steel, that was the ending you got. And then it says, you either, you were a dick and a coward and, didn't live up to your legacy, but at least things are safe. Or, you made the ultimate sacrifice, followed your father's example, blah, 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 everyone's happy forever. There you go. But yeah, just that, oh god, I hated that ending so much. And thank you for bringing it back, because I will, like, Vanjie,
no problem.
Hear me, like, I will occasionally have to look over at Vanjie and go, like, here's another thing that's wrong with the Fallout 3 ending. And this will be, like, our entire night. And she'll just go, I know, sweetie, you've told me that 100 times before over the past, however, 2 or 3 years since Fallout 3 came out. So, Bethesda just doesn't do good storytelling. I mean, I actually bought, over the summer, or in the fall, I was playing Fallout 3 again, because I got another deal on Steam that got me all the DLC, so I had never tried those, so I thought I'd go through and do it, and I did the first couple, and they're so blah, I mean, it's like, they're the hooks that, normally get you into a story, they just don't have them, and, so, like, I stopped, like, halfway through. I didn't even, continue on to do the Broken Steel DLC, because it's just like, I played, Operation Anchorage and The Pit, and it's just,
Okay,
Nice.
so like this podcast is over.
Sorry.
Oh.
What? Oh.
Well, it's almost time for a podcast power hour.
Oh. But I was hoping I could find one more way to make Mike angry before.
Ask a trivia question that will make Mike angry for our guests.
Who is the worst pony in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic of the main 6?
The main 6, there's no worst pony in the main 6. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, but together, they're friends and they overcome their powers through the power.
I always thought Tinky Winky was pretty awful.
I think he means Pinkie Pie. He hates Pinkie Pie.
I hate Pinkie Pie.
Tinky Winky is from
He's a
Teletubbies.
Teletubby, yeah. That's close. I don't know if we have time for Trivia Jetty. I think we gotta wrap up.
Pinkie Pie is the best. I've got to be honest. I almost teared up watching the episode yesterday with the wedding one.
It's
The song about
The first person to say I love Shia LaBeouf and spell it correctly gets a prize.
Yes.
I hate you so much, Paul.
the Big Brother best friend song. It made
That
me
was
sad.
that was a really cute song.
Because it made me remember when I was my little sister's best friend when she was that
Aw.
age. And she's all grown up and going to college. And doesn't want to hang out with me anymore.
Of course,
I think Diana
won
prize.
again. I hope she wants another. Oh, you were too slow, I'm sorry.
And meanwhile, in the chat room, everybody's been talking about Ocarina
Yeah, they
of
haven't been
Time,
listening to us for like the past 40 minutes.
Yes.
which we mentioned for... no, they've been talking about Michael's comment about the 2 timelines coming from Ocarina of Time. Could you just tell them what those 2 are?
Oh, well, okay, so they actually, it's in one of the, you can find an image online that Nintendo actually put out in one of their, books.
Oh.
But basically, Ocarina splits, basically Hyrule into 2 timelines. You have the one where, basically,
There's 3.
there's 3.
Yeah.
Right, that's right.
Ah.
Well, I know at least 2 are, so there's one at the end of Ocarina where...
Wrap it in 10 seconds, Mike. We gotta get going.
Yeah.
Alright. Link comes back, and Zelda and him basically say, like, hey, Ganondorf's evil, we should go get him. And they do. And then they bound him up, and that's how Twilight Princess gets started. Then there's one where Link never comes back, and that's Wind Waker. And I don't know what the other one is.
Wow, that makes a lot more sense now. Which one does... never mind.
Bye, guys.
Skyward Sword?
Bye.
It's in the
Skyward
chat room
Sword
if you guys
takes
wanna see the
before
three
it.
different
Yeah,
Skyward-
that's what I was gonna say.
paths.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Skyward
the
Sword
chat room
is a
figured it
prequel.
out.
Bye, guys.
All
Bye,
right, see ya.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Toodles.
Thanks everyone for showing up to record this hour.
Yes, and next
Yeah,
hour,
podcast.
next hour is Power Hour. So
Yes, it
Alright.
is.
Yes.
Listeners only
yes,
and Christian.
and me and Christian.
So
All right.
not us.
Yes.
What if there aren't any listeners?
There will be. Bye, guys.
I didn't accept it with real Paul Franzen yet. Unless we are live, someone will let us know.
No, I clicked the
Get rid of Paul.
Yeah, I clicked the get rid of Paul button.
Oh, good call.
But I think
I love that button.
I think